Recording is in progress.
That's a slurp.
That was
And this is the gayest coffee mug ever.
Well, see,
Happy
that's
Pride.
funny. Happy Pride. Yeah, I kept my
Happy
hoodie
Pride.
on because I'm trying to do something really gay every day of
Oh my
Pride.
God, you didn't tell me that.
I didn't tell you because it's like a personal agenda, and I'm just trying to see like, and I'm not even like planning ahead. I'm just trying to be conscious.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that in case you fail.
Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody, but now I have. I'm trying to do something like super gay and like in culture, like every day. Like I'm proud. So like yesterday we went to a women's basketball game.
Yeah.
It was very gay.
That's very gay.
It's a very gay thing to do.
It was also Pride night.
It was also Pride night at the women's basketball game.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that in advance.
No. We drove from Chicago to Indiana to watch Chicago play.
To Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
To be specific.
Specifically.
You're not just like generically.
I thought everyone would know that.
Yeah. To see.
Where else is there in Indiana?
Sorry.
No,
listen
I
to
love
Indiana.
No, I know there's another place because one time I was sent off to a Christian camp over there for like a week with my sister and I.
Uh-huh.
And somewhere in Indiana. I honestly can't remember where.
Okay.
So
there's okay.
I'm just saying that another place exists
in Indiana. Purdue exists in Indiana. Is that hurtful? I'm sorry. I take it back. Do you want to? So you have your gay mug, Lady Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think this is like a little splash.
Oh yeah, that's good. We got our friendship bracelets on for anyone watching us on YouTube.
We're more than
we're more than friends.
Me and you?
Well, yeah, no, I was just saying the friendship bracelets are good.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't sound like it's our friendship bracelets.
No. We didn't swap them with each other. This is really dumb.
Let's swap friendship.
Let's just swap friendship bracelets.
Oh,
wow. Okay, that's like two super gay things today.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll be misgendered at the airport again. That's pretty gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Cool. We're ready.
Misgendered.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do something super gay every day this month.
Okay.
So
I support that.
I don't really have like items. I put like literally zero thought into it besides thinking.
Well, you do have the hat.
Yeah.
The Cuss hat.
Yeah. Turn it around. There we go. That's not a good look.
I won't be
doing that.
It's a backwards hat.
It's a backwards hat. So people behind me can see it.
Yes, it is.
It's important.
That's right.
Leaving you in my gay dust.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has already gone off.
It really has.
The road. We had an agenda. We were ready. We talked about it. And then here we are.
And now it's just become a gay.
And now this is changing from a running podcast to a gay podcast.
Okay, we need to stop.
Okay, sorry. It's
about running.
Gay running. No, it's about all running. Okay. So we were gonna start off. I was gonna talk about the drama of ultra running this week, which I'm like loving in a lot of ways. Okay, so first I should point out that I do not use energy gels or electrolytes in my own personal journey with running. I do not use them. I stopped using them a long time ago just because I chose to stick with real foods because that's what worked better for me. But I understand that it works well for a lot of people. And of course, this week, over the past couple weeks, there's been a big drama around spring energy, which is really funny because I did see the original Reddit post where some nerd was like, "This isn't mathy," and he like dehydrated the gel and was like, the weight doesn't. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but this is really funny to me. Of course, now it's come out multiple tests that Spring Energy does not, well, one of its products, at least so far, Awesome Sauce, does not have the amount of calories or carbs or even close to it. That's like, and I've now heard from like multiple people that like, I use this, I bonked during races, I couldn't figure out why, what was going on. Some people still use it and love it. I've heard a lot of people basically say it's like applesauce. Like one of those like baby packets of apples like that your kids use.
Really?
Yeah. And like the ingredients like don't add up or whatever to enough calories.
Yeah.
And it went down easy because basically it's just applesauce. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's super dramatic. And the company still hasn't like owned up to the fact that
like applesauce in terms, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I apologize. But in terms of content, not in terms of texture.
I hate texture too.
No, that's not I thought the goos were really sticky.
Maybe we should get some and try it.
No, we shouldn't. I'm not putting it in my mouth.
No. Yeah, so there's been a lot of drama. The company still hasn't come out and been honest about it, I think, which is what kind of sucks because it does seem like there was no way for your products to be that amount of calories and carbs ever.
Yeah.
And there's no way that you didn't know that it was not the right amount of calories and carbs. They still haven't owned up to it at all.
Okay, so what do you think they thought they would just get by with this?
They did, which is really funny because like you and I know this, that like ultra marathoners, there's a good percentage that are like engineers and scientists and doctors.
We're gonna find out.
And that math this shit like really intensely. Yeah, that they were gonna find out, and they did find out. And then it got like the original Reddit thread happened, and then like a German lab is actually what originally like tested it and was like, this isn't right. And then there was like a GoFundMe that they have their own test results coming in. And then this is the big drama. Jason Koop, who is the founder of like Ultra Runner Endurance Sports Certification and their association. I don't know. It's UESCA, who's like a major ultra running coach. He also sent in his own lab test and results.
Okay.
And his, of course, they've all come back that
it doesn't have what
it doesn't have what it's supposed to have.
Okay, so can I be honest?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like I probably could know from seeing people ingest these, like the look of them, and like it seemed not unlikely that it was boasting a little too much, you know?
You and I are both skeptical people, right? Most people don't have as many skepticisms. And if they're told a product has this many calories and carbs in it, they're going to trust the company. I mean, the company is no one should trust this company anymore.
No, I mean, maybe they can correct themselves, but I think that maybe it was a placebo effect for some people.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe it did work in some aspects, but of course you're going to blow up if you're not getting enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the end of the day. I mean, these people are using this to run
exactly
really long distances. And so it becomes like people plan. I have all my athletes, we plan like exactly the amount of calories they're supposed to take in an hour. And so if they thought one of these gels was 180 and it's actually 60, like that's a dramatic decrease in calories that they're not getting, which sucks, means you're probably not going to have as great of a race. And also could just be unsafe in some situations. Like some people use this backpacking, right? Where like you can't get any more calories, so it created, I think, a lot of issues. And then their dishonesty on top of it. Like they could have corrected in that moment and been honest, but now where they've continued to not be honest, I don't think it's a good look. I don't think anybody else I talk to thinks it's a good look.
So they came out and said something. They didn't apologize. So what'd they say?
That there was a variation in their quality control is pretty much the line that they're using, but their variation never gets it to the amount of calories it's supposed to be, so like, okay, not even close. Yeah, it's like a third to a half the amount of calories.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That a company would deceive everyone and then continue to just keep up the ruse.
Yeah, it's not smart. It doesn't seem like a good business decision as people who run two businesses. Seems not wise. The other crummy thing about it is that, like I said, Jason Koop sent out some of the testing, and he's a big deal in the ultra running world because he coaches a lot of the elite athletes and has a big coaching company. But Jason Koop is a bully. He's like a hardcore bully. He bullies people on the internet who he disagrees with actively all the time. These people live rent-free in his head. It's actually one of the reasons I haven't liked him for a long time, because he feels the need to belittle people and think his way is the only way, it's the best way, and it's awesome. And he just straight white man's all over the place, basically. So he felt a way about it, and then he called out another coaching group, the Roaches of Some Work All Play, who used to be sponsored by Spring Energy. They stopped their sponsorship a while ago when they felt the product wasn't working for them. They didn't tell anybody that, though. And they've now since apologized immediately when this came out. We should have spoken our mind, right? They apologized more than Spring Energy did, but then Jason Koop still felt the need to attack them. He's attacked women in running on the internet, women that are in sports nutrition, which I think is just like not a great look for him at all. And yeah, I think it's gross. I'm going to be taking certification off my website because I don't want to be associated with him anymore. Yeah.
So you have his certification.
I did, because it's the only ultra running coaching certification that is out there, quite frankly.
We should put it up there with a disclaimer so maybe you know why.
Yeah, that's true. I could be like, I got it here, but like, I don't like this company anymore. Or the representative. I mean, he doesn't really run the company, probably. Somebody else probably runs it, but he's the head of it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. You have to wonder if he didn't have the outlet to be online, what he would do.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
access. I'm like, yeah.
It's just like he has to have too much free time with how much he talks about these other coaches. And I've never really seen them talk about him, but he talks about the Roaches, like tweets about them, puts it on Reddit. He has his own Reddit account, and he's like in the ultra marathon subreddit. Like, this dude has too much free time, quite frankly, with how much he's like online bullying people. Yeah. It's not a good look. It's gross.
Yeah, it just seems unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
It's kind of one of those things of like, just carve your own paths and let people come to you and find you if they want to be your coach. And the same with the Roaches. Sounds like they are doing that. And stop, don't, if you're being harsh, or you're being, I'm not online, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's just not a good look. Yeah. It's just a really bad look. And it's like, it makes him frankly look insecure more than anything. It's just like, well, you're probably a good coaching fit for some athletes, and they're like, the Roaches and Coop are who coaches the top ultra runners for the most part, unless they're like self-coached. And I think their styles are probably totally different. They probably work well for different athletes, and I wish that he would stop talking shit about other people, but I don't follow him, so get him out of my feed. I don't want that.
Don't let him live rent-free in your head.
No way. He's out of it. He's out of it.
I don't like drama when I'm existing in it, but when it's not me, it's good, man.
It is really amusing to see.
Funny. It's like no, it's not funny. Unfortunately, in the Spring Energy.
You keep saying Spring Hill, but it is Spring Energy.
I feel like bad because that's a water, I think.
It basically is water. So maybe that's what they were going for.
Yeah. It's condensed water.
It's condensed water. Yeah.
I don't want people to fall for that.
I just thought of something, but now I can't remember what it was.
It'll come back to you.
I'm out of it.
All right.
We're gonna segue into our next topic, because like I said, we did make an agenda. It's really loose. I have a lot of people lately that haven't been able to run, right, for whatever reason. And it doesn't make them feel good. They'll try to like run through injuries and shit and whatever, because I think it comes to like, they don't feel like part of the community if they aren't being an active runner.
Yeah.
And how I don't think most people are even perceiving that that's the problem. Like, if they're not a runner actively, like if you're injured or whatever, that you can't be part of the running community. And
I understand that. Yeah.
It's not true. Like, you totally can still be.
Do you think that it's coming from both sides, or it's coming from, right? Is it like an insecurity doubled with like people on the other side who are in the running community kind of ostracizing someone?
Yeah, I think if you found the wrong running community that are fast, and you have to have Boston qualified and to be considered, like, okay, that's not a great running community, quite frankly, to be a part of. That's not going to support you. But I think if you find the right running community that is supportive, and I mean, obviously we have one, and I know a lot across the country, that you're still part of it, and you're still able to be part of it, and they want you to be part of it, even if you are not actively a runner. I was talking to someone the other day, and they just completed their first ultra marathon. And they're like, I don't know if I'll do it again. And I was like, you're still an ultra runner the rest of your life. You still did it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And that's kind of the way I feel about running. Like, you have a passion for it. If in that moment you can't do anymore, I even have some people that like literally can't run again for whatever health reason. It doesn't make you not a runner. I think it's like a mindset.
Oh, I like that idea too.
Of being a runner.
I like that too. I think that's a good idea.
Because I think we have a lot of people that come out to our events, and I would consider them runners. But they would consider themselves walkers.
Right.
Like, they're hiking, they're walking the entire event. But in my mind, like, you're out here, you're at the race, like, you're running.
Yeah, right.
Like, doesn't matter how high your knees are.
We see you as a runner no matter what. Yeah, I think that's true. I think sometimes maybe we should include even more inclusive language with that, because I do, and I've even heard from people that don't come to our events that they worry about going to races that include the word running and don't include walking, because specifically recently I had a conversation with someone who said they didn't like hearing, "Oh, we're so glad you showed up to do this, to be here." I know we would never say that.
I would never say that.
But like, sometimes I think people in the running community can be snooty about it, and might not, maybe they don't even realize it. But making sure creating inclusive spaces where, whatever stage you're at in your life, if you were ever a runner, if you wanted to be a runner and now you can't, and you want to be around that energy of running, I mean, you're a cussing runner. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting for me, like as a coach, as a race director, as someone in the running community, like I find that what most people are attracted to about it isn't even the actual like act of running. It is the community. It is the people. It's like the camaraderie, the support that they're getting and the championing that you don't really get in other outlets of your life, right? Like they don't get that at their job. They may not even get that from their friend group. I've seen people who just like really give a fuck that you succeed or not in whatever you're trying to do. You know, obviously since Cuss has started, we've had really diehard cussing runners that have gone through injuries, whatever has happened, they've bombed a race, they've DNF'd, whatever, and the amount of support that they get from other cussing runners, checking up on them, seeing how they're doing. You know, some people have had shared conversations about setbacks in running, and like that community still exists even if you aren't actively running.
Yeah,
I think that's what people end up craving more so than that active running.
Yeah, I think that's even a lot of why people run.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's another conversation why I'm running.
We're going to get to that one.
We're going to get to that
We're going to get to that one.
On our list of topics.
It's on our list of topics.
But I think that we crave community, and it's a part of what we need, you know. I tell you this all the time, is that if we don't have people to bear witness to our life, it feels kind of meaningless sometimes.
Yeah.
So like getting out and really getting to practice our identity and who we are around others. It's like beneficial to who we are. And we get to do that a lot in Cuss. And really in a way that you do have a lot in common with people, but something I love too is that we have a lot of differences with people in Cuss. But we all have kind of the same mentality.
Yeah.
You know, of encouraging and championing others, and getting people to their goals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I agree. What was I going to say, man? I just had something. And then you said something so good, and then I lost my thing because it probably like wasn't as good of that at all. Man, you know what I think is really brave, and this has to do with everything. People who will show up to a brand new running group.
Oh, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy brave. We had this chick who's been showing up. She just started showing up to Cuss events this year. She showed up at the meetups I've been having monthly, and she's been so awesome and so brave to just come in. And she's been at so many events now. Like we all know who she is. She's volunteered, but like she just came out of nowhere to join in. And I mean,
how did she find out about us?
Oh, I don't know. People find us on the internet.
Yeah.
People find us on the internet. I have a brand new athlete that just started with me, and she is in Iowa. And I asked her because I was like, I'm not in Iowa. What are you doing? Like, you're not my usual person.
You're like, do you know Caitlin Clark?
Do you know Caitlin Clark? Yeah. Can you introduce us? I don't think she's in the same city in Iowa. Okay. And she's older than
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin's not there anymore. Yeah,
Caitlin's in Indianapolis. We saw her yesterday. Yes. Okay. So no, she doesn't know Caitlin Clark, but I asked her like kind of how she found us, and through some Googling, or I'd come up on Instagram or whatever. But really just wanted a running community. Like that was it. And had kind of gone back and forth, but she was like searching for that type of community and couldn't find it in her area. And so she's hoping to come out to a race, and, you know, stay tuned. We're talking about maybe trying to find a race, figure out a race for Cuss to do in Iowa, and that we direct one there. Cause it seems like Iowa needs some Cuss races. So maybe we'll go on tour. But like, I thought that was so interesting of people like just wanting to be in that sort of supportive culture and finding it. And I think it's cool. It was not our intention when we first started this. Neither one of us was like, let's create an inclusive community. I was just like, let's be cool and be funny and be curious or whatever. And you're like, sure, let's do it.
Really, it's more than that. Allie was like, I've always wanted to be a race director.
That's true.
And I was like, yes. That was it.
That was it. That was how we do it. But now I think we bear a responsibility. We lean into that responsibility. You do such a great job. I try to do a good job of like talking not just to the same people kind of races, but talking to all the new people too.
Yeah.
Learning their stories, making them feel included.
I like that too. Now that we have our babies, I don't get to go to the races as much. I also have a bit of anxiety socially. So that's also a bit of why I don't go.
Just a smidge of social anxiety. Yeah, just a smidge. But also the babies are really young and it's hard.
Yeah. As
evidenced by the Taylor Swift event that we had at Warren, where someone had to just stay with Juniper as they ran up and down a hill over and over again. And we just kind of traded off who was going to run up and down the hill with Juniper for 4 hours.
Intervals
with Juniper.
Hill repeats.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll be at an event later this year, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you never regret going.
No, I always enjoy it.
But it is super bright. I can't imagine. I can't imagine showing up at a running group.
Yeah.
That gives me anxiety. I'm like, oh, I don't know these people.
And now this is just an open call. If you've been thinking about attending a Cuss event.
Yeah. Come be anxious together with us.
Anxious. Let's just be curious.
Let's just be curious. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'll be anxious.
Elaine will carry your anxiety for you.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's never personal with you all. It's all within me.
It's all within you. But you still run and you still go to the event. So that's going to segue into our next topic, which is why are we continuing to do this absolutely foolish thing of running?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts my feet.
Some people who, when they say it doesn't, I think you're lying.
No, it hurts. Running hurts everyone.
You know, I think I remember sharing this with you early on when we were dating, is that when I used to run, that I couldn't feel good to my 3rd mile.
Yeah.
It took 2 miles for me. 2 miles for me to warm up. You were a 1 mile. I'm like, well, it takes me 2 miles before I stop feeling every major organ moving, shifting,
bone
like,
against bone.
There's that liver. Oh, there's those kidneys. Okay. And then a totally different discussion and topic we're going to be talking about is how age changes our running.
Yeah.
And but my feet do hurt in a different way now, not just like the pads of them being sore, but other things that you're just like, why am I feeling my feet? I used to not even pay attention. I didn't even know my feet were there. There's never even a thought. I was just running.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, there's my feet. Damn, they hurt.
Yeah.
So it takes me even longer now to get it out of my head.
And why are you still doing it then?
Well, that's my why.
Right. Yeah, your head.
No, I think the reason I actually run is because it is such a simple form and it requires me being around no people. So I can be really isolated, be outside. And I mean, I think people who run know, for whatever reason your why is, I think a lot of us enjoy something about being outdoors and your feet hitting the pavement and just the freedom of it, and finding like a solstice in that.
Yeah, it is meditative. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, like running for me, maybe like super, super initially was about weight loss, but after that was not really about that or creating the right, like it wasn't about societal pressures and body and everything like that, but it's always been about like something about the discipline of it, of like, this is where I'm going to be at this day and time. I'm going to go run whatever those miles will look like. Has always been like a discipline and a practice. Like people will have like a yoga practice or like a meditation practice or whatever. I feel like running is that for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it is a time where I wouldn't say I'm out there in my own head because usually I'm listening to a podcast. So somebody else is in my head.
Taking the Taro.
Taking the Taro. Usually listen to the Hanson podcast. Yeah. It's my new favorite. But it is a time of like, this is my time and my space for me in a way. And I'm going to choose to run around and like, this, like going from not having 2 kids to having 2 kids has changed my running in multiple ways that I have to approach it differently. Like I can't go out there and like run hard because I'll sweat. I'll be pouring sweat after 2 easy miles. Like it's disgusting. But now I'm trying to really just approach all my runs with nonsense.
I like that.
And you did a great job. You were an inspiration because I was going out the door in that butter shirt and you said, you should run with a stick of butter. I said, I dare you, which how immature of you to dare do something.
Like she like ran to the fridge.
I was like, yes,
I'm doing
I
it.
will run with a stick of butter. It was gross. It like leaked all over my
Yeah. I was like, why did you keep running with the butter?
Because I made it off that far. I had to come back and it just melted. But you know, I needed softened butter. Now we threw that butter away.
That butter was nasty.
But then like I had it in my head the other day, I was like, I'm gonna run to Jewelosco and I'm gonna get a balloon and I'm gonna run with the balloon, which is why now Juniper has a balloon.
Oh, wait, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. No, it was not Juniper who was like, let me have this balloon. It was like, I'm gonna run with the balloon because it just so I'm trying to approach all my runs with that, which I think takes a lot of pressure off me and my own expectations of where I should be in my body.
It's like you're approaching it with a new sense of whimsical.
Yes, right? Yes. I've increased my nonsense to like a new high.
You were pretty nonsensical.
I was pretty nonsensical before, so I don't know if it needed to increase.
I am too. We don't need any. Allie's always like, stop going along with these my silly songs I sing around the house.
Or oh yeah, you will always just like tune into that next verse. I'll be making up a dumb song for the kids, and you'll be like, whatever the song. I can't even think of one song I've heard at this point.
We
we were not singing it. So that is for us. Yeah, you do always go along with my nonsense and then, you know, help me amplify it, which I appreciate, which is like what good a partner should do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're taking the best part of me, which is my nonsense.
And applying well theory. And applying... That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke about well theory.
Yes. So Allie and I were dating like forever.
Like before we would even probably be considered dating.
Okay.
We were just hanging out. Yeah, we were vibing.
We were vibing. Mm-hmm. And I like had earlier in the day thought of this like really cool concept theoretically somewhere about tying into relationships and love, and it had to do with a whale.
Yeah. And so she's gonna like tell me about it. And she's gonna give me an illustration.
I was gonna
so what she drew on like lined normal paper, 2 eyes, like 2 little circle eyes, and then a straight line underneath them, and told me that was the whale. Right. I was
like, imagine
there's not a body of the whale. Like it's just the 2 dots in the line. And she's like, imagine this is the whale. And we've never gotten any further in what whale theory is. Lost it. But I have this little illustration. It's on our fridge, actually.
We've had it for a lot, 10 years, 9 years.
I don't think anyone else is going to think that's something about us. Okay. I mean, we're gonna leave it in, but
no, maybe we should cut it.
I think everyone's tuning out right now.
If you're just tuning in, this is the official Pride edition.
This is the Pride edition of the podcast about whale.
No, not about whale theory. Just everything we're doing has been very gay in this podcast.
Very gay. That's true. Okay. I thought during our conversation just now, I have like a new sign off for the podcast. I gotta figure out. You help me out because like you're the inspiration from it. Because I've heard from multiple people that when they're struggling on a run, that they think Elaine's grandma didn't have any legs.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that by several people who have been touched by that. I want to say she had 1 leg. She just didn't have 1 leg. So I've heard now I'm like, God, she's really down another leg.
Elaine's grandma only had 1 leg and couldn't run. So what is it? You should be grateful you should run. We got to figure out how to like tie that into like a closing of the podcast. Just remember, maybe just this. Let's keep it simple. Just remember, Elaine's grandma only had 1 leg.
Yeah.
Run as you are.
Just okay. I like that.
That's it. All right. Bye, guys.